My dad always told me, when you get in the ring, don't play with nobody.
I don't think he's ever fought anyone like me.
I anticipate being the world champion.
This could be one of my big last chances.
Don't blink.
Come on, pop.
Fast hands. Oh my goodness! Oh, great shot. How about that?
Welcome to New York, where the wait is almost over. Amir Khan will step into the ring at Madison Square Garden and try and prove the boxing world wrong, the sporting world wrong, when he fights Terence Crawford for the WBO welterweight title. Here's a taste of what's coming up on this show.
Come Saturday, I'll show you who the bigger fighter is.
It's fine. I do physically feel I'm the bigger guy. The reason I say I'm the bigger guy is because I fought in the 147-pound division for a longer time.
Now, I've been around you an awful long time, since before the Olympics, all the way since then.
You had hair then as well.
I did a lot of hair then, yeah. Thanks very much for reminding people that. A lot to look forward to there, and we start with a fascinating breakdown of the fighters. Richie Woodall is joined by Barry Jones and Ben Davison.
Ben, I'll come to you first. I've never really looked at Amir Khan as being a big welterweight, but this time against Terence Crawford, he's boxing someone who's more or less the same size. What's your take on it?
Well, I think with Terence Crawford, with this fight in particular, I think what's key for Khan is that he's going to have to match Terence Crawford's boxing IQ, because physicalities alone are not going to do it. Speed alone is not going to do it. Size alone wouldn't do it against Terence Crawford. This is going to be a match about IQs, and it's going to be important for Khan to match Terence Crawford's, which is on a very high level.
And Barry, on paper, would you say this is Amir Khan's toughest assignment?
I think you've got to maybe say Saul Canelo Alvarez is probably his toughest, because he's given a lot of natural strength as well as ability, maybe, to be honest. But I think what Ben was saying with Amir, he's never been on box before. He's always been beat by guys who got physical with him and punch when he punched. Now he's in against a guy, as Ben spotted perfectly, has maybe a better IQ, and technically and physically and even speed-wise in single punches is just as fast as Amir.
So let's have a look at Amir Khan first. His positives, for me, are his speed of hand, his movement, and his ability to box at distance. Let's have a look at him here. Very fast hands. He's always on the move. I think this is the kind of stuff that he's going to have to produce against Terence Crawford. What do you think?
Well, it is, and I think what you said was discipline. I think that's the real important feature here for Amir Khan, because he throws in combinations, and that's where he generates the speed, and that's where he's probably faster than maybe him and only Manny Pacquiao are on that sort of level of speed for in combination punches, but it's not overdoing it.
But we know Amir Khan is vulnerable in certain contests. This is one of the problems he has. If Crawford decides to box as an orthodox boxer, Amir Khan has been known throughout his whole career, drops this left hand, he invites the right hand over the top. Let's have a look at it here. What's this right hand come? There it is there.
Yeah, Khan often has a habit of when he's moving to his left, he'll bring his back foot round, his feet come in line, which also leads you to lean over your front foot a little bit higher. You'll see it here. If you look at his back foot there, in line with it, which will lead him to lean over his front foot a little bit with his low left hand, spells for disaster. So
great observation. This obviously was against Canelo, a much bigger man, Barry, but nevertheless, this is what can happen, the ultimate knockout here.
And also, again, there's that trouble that he's had with guys, him, Danny Garcia, guys who become physical with him, who throw when he throws. I think that's very important for Khan, when he holds his feet. I'd never noticed the feet before. It's a great idea.
Yeah, great.
Also, when your feet, you're not squaring your feet up. You're going like on a line where you have no balance.
Next, we'll hear from Amir Khan, who's hoping to be the first man to get the better of Terence Crawford.
I've always wanted to fight the best, and if you look, I've always fought the best guys. In the last 10 years, I fought for world titles, for the top guys. My last 10 years have been crazy. I think, on paper, this is an easier fight than the Canelo fight. Canelo was just too big and too strong. Whereas this fight, you know, against Crawford, Crawford's a guy who's coming up from light welterweight to welterweight. I don't think he's ever fought anyone like me, or as skillful as me. And so I just feel that it's not an easy task. It's an easier task than the Canelo fight.
Right then, Ben. Amir Khan, the speed, how'd you see it?
Yeah, I think it's important early on that Khan's got a tendency to start fast, which I think could actually work against him in this fight because Crawford being such a good counter-puncher. Crawford usually likes to take a round or two. He'll find his distance off his opponent's gloves and look for his opponent to make some mistakes. And so I think it's important that Khan, while in these stages, I think it's important that he doesn't hold his feet. It's very easy for somebody to find their distance if I'm flat-footed.
Yeah.
So I think for Khan it's important that he's always adjusting his distance, not always staying in the same distance. If he creeps in, take half a step back out, see if he can get a nibble off of Crawford.
So what about when Crawford's southpaw? Because Crawford likes, you see Crawford, he brings that foot on the outside, don't give you the escape route, and also gets the jab. And also Crawford has a massive long reach, so how does Khan counteract that when Crawford takes a step?
This situation we often see it about the foot being on the outside. Now it's a lot easier for the person coming forward to get their foot on the outside.
Yeah.
So if I'm the one coming forward and I'm pushing you back, I can always push you back, drifting round. So I think I see it being that Khan will be the one coming forward, but he doesn't want to get into the situation where he's just pressing and forcing for his foot to be on the outside because he can then walk in onto shots. And once he finishes his shots, it's important what he does after as well because Khan being so quick, he has a tendency to sometimes he can just pull out and he gets away with it. He can't afford to do that at this level. He's going to have to throw and have an exit every time.
The only good thing I would say about Khan is he has such a hard rhythm, unusual rhythm, that it's hard to read at times. Yeah. But what you do, you make him, with that front foot with Crawford, you make him work hard. Yeah. But Amir Khan will start fast. I think I sort of agree with Ben.
Start fast?
I think he has to start fast. I do agree. I understand what Ben says, don't overcommit early, but I think he has to start fast, has to, if he can build up a lead, and then try and hold on to it down the stretch, because I think he will be physically the more tired fighter out of the two down the stretch, unless, of course, he can catch Terence Crawford.
Now, let's take a look at Terence Crawford. A very talented boxer, obviously. He's won 3 world titles at 3 different weights, down at lightweight. You must have been a big admirer, Barry.
I've seen most of his fights, and I've worked most of his fights, and he's just a phenomenal talent. The way that he adapts in the ring as well. Not just for me, he's the best switcher of stances since Marvin Hagler. I think he's fantastic. You don't even notice it sometimes, that he just switches from southpaw to orthodox. And just the way he dictates everything with a nice long jab. He's patient in his work as well. It's very hard to find flaws.
But now he can jab as an orthodox boxer here. He's got a great jab. Let's have a look at him here. This is against a taller man, Jose Benavidez, his last contest. Working well with the jab here on the outside, doubling it up. But then he boxes as a southpaw here, and he's, like I say, he's giving away height and reach, but he's still out-jabbing his opponent. Barry, that takes something.
It does, but two things. Timing is everything in boxing, and he has great timing and judgment of distance, but he sits on that back foot. But what's important with Crawford is the front foot and the front hand work in unison together.
And Ben, his balance is very good, isn't it?
His balance is phenomenal, and he's very good at manipulating the opponent and making them do what he wants them to do. Especially, like I said before, when he switches to a southpaw, he uses front glove to control the opponent's front glove. And sometimes he'll go from this look to give a full guard look, which will cause the opponent to start with their lead hand, and he's drawn that from them. He's manipulated them to do what he wants them to do, and he'll counter it. When somebody's been countered over and over and over, as Crawford's a fantastic counter-puncher, he'll lead them into not letting their hands go. And the moment you don't let your hands go with Crawford and you start reverting to a full guard, you're going to allow him to use his punch variety.
And as we've seen there, he's a great finisher. He finishes the job. OK, so he's got some great strength and attributes, but occasionally he can get caught. So let's have a look at here. I think he holds his feet just occasionally and gets caught with the right hand there. Look, he comes forward, makes the odd mistake, his feet come a little bit square, Ben, and he gets caught with the odd shot like there.
Yeah, I think this is what we're going to have to... At the start of this fight, it was a very good chess match, and Benavidez is actually a good counter-puncher himself. I think he was a little bit static on his feet, so Khan can take some positives from this fight as well, for sure.
So a few chinks in the armour, but not many. Thanks, guys. And next we're going to hear from the man himself, Terence Crawford.
You know, there's a lot of things that he can come in the ring and do that we're going to be prepared for. He can move. He can come forward. He can try to trade with me. He can try to hit and hold. There's a number of things that he can do to try to frustrate me. But like I said, we're going to be prepared for everything that he brings come fight night.
So Crawford, big favourite. So what do you do? Let me do. This is what I think about Amir Khan. He's going to be on his toes, plenty of feints, and darting in, pushing forward. So what does Crawford do?
I feel like Crawford he'll use his front hand to create more distance between him. When Khan rushes in, he'll adjust his distance and let Khan rush onto the shot. That's why I feel that Khan's got to be clever, got to be smart. So while Khan's doing this, I think he needs to maybe feint downstairs and come back out and make Crawford
come back out.
Come back out. Show him it come out, and he might be able to bite that. So if you feint me downstairs, take a step back, he might draw that from Crawford and then make him pay.
So what if the roles reverse and you said that the Khan might try and push him back? What if he decides I'm going to take the back foot here, I'm going to move and feint from distance, and Crawford's got to engage?
Crawford can box coming forward, he is clever, and I feel like sometimes, like what we're talking about there, which we saw a few times, Crawford will revert to a full guard, and then if it's important that if he does do that and Khan does start having success, that he doesn't get too greedy, he doesn't stay there, he needs to come off at an exit, walk off, reset. And that's one thing that Crawford's very good at. If Crawford's on the back foot, he'll keep resetting you. So it's a very high-level IQ boxing match. And another thing that is important that we saw there was sometimes there's two ways to not get hit. It's either to be too far away or too close. Yeah. And sometimes Khan can revert into a full guard, but he can sit here, and with somebody with a variety of Crawford, it's not a good idea. So if he is going to close the gap up, he needs to make sure he's in tight, he needs to make sure his hips are in tight so that there's no room to work. Because if he leaves a little bit of room, Crawford's a master at creating just enough room, get his shots off, and get an exit.
And he gets acceleration and pace, doesn't he, Crawford? He sort of touches, but once he sees you there,
he'll change his gear.
He'll go from going like that to going boom, 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 straight away. And I've noticed that he changes the tempo of his, the way he throws his punches quite effectively. What I thought with Khan is he doesn't fight inside. Never has. Never learned it either. So in summary, for Khan to win, it's plenty of feints, darting.
I just think that it's very important to Khan that he puts solid work in before he throws and knows what he's going to do after he throws. And if he can maintain that for 12 rounds, he stands himself in a much better position.
And that's how we see it.
Even though I'm enjoying it, I'm really serious because I'm going to win this fight. And this is what's going to set my legacy. I'm just focused right on my opponent, and I'm just itching to go now. So it's like I'm being I'm on a leash.
You're ready?
And as soon as Virgil says, as soon as the bell goes, Virgil's going to let go of that leash and I'm going to go. I've always said that I want to be a world champion again, and this is my opportunity. Even though I'm enjoying it, I'm really serious because I'm going to win this fight. And this is what's going to set my legacy.
All the hard work is already done. Right now, it's time to relax, rest, and get ready for the fight.
Welcome back to the Big Apple, where it's finally starting to feel like a big fight city. Amir Khan in a world title fight, Terence Crawford in his 13th world title fight. I caught up with the pair of them earlier this week to find out how they're feeling.
Now, I'm going to start with you, Terence. You're face to face with Amir here. It's going to be a week of that here. What are your first impressions when you look across at him just a few hours before the first bell?
I don't have no impression.
Just the kid you thought he was?
He's not a kid. He's a grown man. I'm a grown man.
What do you see when you look across Amir?
Just same, you know, end of the day, so we know we've done our training. We're going to see who the best is on Saturday night. I'm sure we both in our best shape we could ever be in.
Terence, when you look across at Amir, do you see there a fighter that can beat you? Is that a man that can put fear in you?
No. Not at all. Not at all.
Does any fighter put fear in you? Has any fighter in your career so far put any fear in you?
Not at all. They put on their gloves just like me. They bleed just like me. Why be scared? I've been doing this since I was 7 years old.
So has Amir been doing it at the same time. Do you see anything in him? Anything different? Do you think he realises that this could be a harder fight than maybe he thinks?
I mean, I don't think he realises that he is going to have his hands full. I really believe that I am going to be his toughest test. You know, you have to admire the skills he's got and the way he works when he's in the ring. So that only motivates me to go in the gym and train even harder for this fight, knowing that I'm up against a very tough fighter, you know.
Let's tell us, I mentioned there that the last 5 have ended quick. Can you beat Amir on points if it doesn't end quick?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. Of course.
He say he never been outboxed before. Neither have I.
That's what makes this fight special. You know, you got two fighters who never really been at a box before. You know, you got two skillful fighters who are going to be facing each other, really.
So could we get a chess match?
It could be at times, wherever it comes down to in the ring. I know I'm going to be ready.
A lot of people is always comparing to the Gamboa fight. The Gamboa did this, Gamboa did that. I whitewashed Gamboa. Gamboa is no more. He's not the same after he fought Terence Crawford. You know, so why is we still talking about Gamboa? You know?
Well, it was a terrific fight and he was unbeaten and it was a hard one.
It was a good fight. I wouldn't say it was a hard fight.
Just
it was
hard
a hard
moments.
couple of rounds. You know, it was my first title defense. You know, but hey, I got past it and I moved forward and I'm here now and I'm fighting Amir Khan. We're not fighting Gamboa.
We know what happens to you when you let your heart rule your head. We know what we've seen that a few times. Are we going to see a smarter Amir Khan? Because we see it every now and again, and then you go back to fighting with your heart and not your head.
I think, you know, when you're fighting guys who are up there as one of the best fighters in the world, and especially with Terence being a pound-for-pound fighter, one of the best, you know, it makes you fight your A game. It makes you not make them mistakes. I'm going to go in that ring with a game plan, sticking to that game plan.
Now, you've talked about flaws that you've seen, things that you've seen that could be keys to your victory. Is one of those natural size that you've been in and around welterweight for a lot longer than Terence has been in and around welterweight?
Well, you know, I've gone up to middleweight, which wasn't really a healthy weight division for me. Welterweight does suit me. For this fight especially, I've made sure I made the weight right.
I like how you think he's the bigger, stronger guy.
No, it's just, hey, he's been bigger and stronger than you for a long while. Do you think people have been reluctant to give you the proper amount of respect? Or don't you care?
I earn my respect.
But you get the respect now. I mean, you know,
Yeah, but
people talk about you in that rarefied air of 2 or 3 other fighters.
yeah, that's cool. But come Saturday, I'll show you who the bigger fighter is.
That's fine. I do physically feel I'm the bigger guy. I've been the reason I say I'm the bigger guy is because I fought in the 147-pound division for a longer time. We both trained to go into this fight to win. So the best man's going to win, really.
A lot of people say this is going to be the toughest fight of my career. We shall see.
Terence Crawford and Amir Khan fight at Madison Square Garden, the iconic fighting palace at the very heart of the Big Apple. I met up with Amir Khan and took him on a short tour. So this is the top of the big house, as they call it.
right.
And what I like about this place, Amir, is that it's steep, and you need it to be steep. It's full of everything.
It's an
that's
amazing
happened.
venue that every seat is able to see the ring.
I mean, look at that.
Wow, so steep that is, huh?
You're not scared of heights, are you?
I'm a little scared of heights, yeah. But wow,
don't go near-
I didn't expect it to be that high, but I mean...
So your ring is going to be absolutely under that giant hanging.
Canopy, exactly. And it is going to be, the ring's going to be right there, and there's going to be people here watching where I'm standing in a couple of days' time, watching the fight, watching me in that ring.
When you're in the change room, do you think you'll hear it, sense the crowd, hear the noise? And have you ever done that? I mean, do you get that feeling?
Yeah, I get that feel. Even before walking out, you kind of feel and the crowd. You feel the crowd, you hear the crowd, and then but once you're in that boxing ring, all that disappears. So this is just another day in the office for me. I'm going to be switched on and so focused, and I can maybe acknowledge the crowd after the fight.
This is just another day in the office, Madison Square Garden, 20,000 sold out against one of the best fighters in the world. I love the idea that it's just a day in the office.
Well, that's the way I see it, you know. But if you look at it, if I break it down, it is a very big day in the office, really. It's not only one of those days in the office, but it's a massive day in the office, yeah. Fighting in front of, fighting one of the meccas of boxing and fighting one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. So, I love thinking about it now. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of an occasion.
So what we'll do, we'll go down and we'll see if we can get underneath the
Yeah,
canopy. Let's do that. I mean, you're going to come out, you're going to look around. Will you stop for a second to have a look at the crowd? Will you actually pause, do you think?
Yeah, I always take that, you know, when I'm walking at the dressing room, I take a stance for maybe about 10 seconds just to soak up the atmosphere, to mentally prepare myself.
Do you think there'll be a case where you do have to take a couple of breaths to suck it in, just to steady yourself. Because if this is form, I mean, listen, I've walked out with fighters, and I get there and I go, whoa.
Yeah. No, you know what? Because I've done this many times before. I'm all right. I'm quite keep my nerves are good. I know how to control them, and I'm quite calm and chilled out. I just go there and just to see my surrounding, where am I, how many people there are there. Just enjoy the moment, and that's why I like it.
Now, I've been around you an awful long time, since before the Olympics, all the way since then.
You had hair then as well.
I did a lot of hair then, yeah. Thanks very much for reminding people that. But I'll tell you, the one thing I do think is that I've seen you relaxed, but I don't think I've ever seen you this relaxed. Are you at peace? You seem like you're absolutely at peace.
I am so chilled out and so calm. I'm taking everything as it comes. I'm just so relaxed, and you know, I know how hard I've trained for this fight. I've trained at my skin. Training camps, waking up in the morning, going for those runs on the hills, the sprint sessions, the boxing, the sparring sessions I had. I know I've pushed myself. That's why I know that once I step into that ring with that adrenaline rushing through my body, I'm going to be at the best. I'm in the best shape ever, and I'm going to perform the best way.
You know where we are right now? We're actually in. You know what? You stay there. I want to go over there because we're actually now right in the middle. This is where the ring's going to be.
This is where the ring's going to be.
You stand still there. You would have just walked up 8 steps, 9 steps, and I'll be over here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll be in this corner, the Crawford corner, and you'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be a bit higher. There'll be a roar. You're looking across it. What are you thinking at that moment?
So now I'm thinking what I'm going to do in the fight. You know, I'm tuned in, focused, and I'm just getting ready. You know, the adrenaline's pumping through my body, heart rate's up.
It's pumping through my body at the moment. Can you see anybody at ringside?
No, I'm just focused right on my opponent, and I'm just itching to go now. So it's like I'm being I'm on a leash.
You're ready.
And as soon as the bell goes, Virgil's gonna let go of that leash, and I'm gonna go.
Oh. Beautiful. I'm not going to come too close. You're a bit too fired up for my liking. Listen, let's walk out of the building. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I mean that, absolutely brilliant.
Terence Crawford's probably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world at the minute. Great fighter. Amir Khan is the fastest boxer out there, so I hope he does it.
It was hard to catch him clean. It was hard to really keep up with him in the ring, you know, because he was such a dynamic boxer. You just wonder if he has the leg.
He's got to produce a career best performance on fear. I'm going to back my man Khan.
I mean, he's going in the other guy's backyard. One thing you can't say, he hasn't got big vaginas. He's got plenty of that.
Terence Crawford is pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world, so he is the natural favourite. I know how determined Aamir is, I know how skillful he is, I know how fast he is. He's always got a chance in fights like that.
6th round knockout. Crawford gonna knock him out.
I would lean towards the Crawford stoppage later on once he figures him out and breaks him down.
It'll boil down to who's the smartest. So it's a fight that I'm looking forward to, but obviously I'm rooting for the UK man, Amir Khan.
Khan can do it, but Crawford is just simply a master of the sport, and to see Amir Khan and Crawford is going to be a treat for the world to see.
What a week it's been here in New York, and we're now just hours away from the first bell. Will it be Terence Crawford moving to 35-0 and on to bigger and better things? Or will Amir Khan cement a legacy? It will be a very, very special night and fight here in the Big Apple.
I can never go back.
The success story of Amir Khan goes on.
Our revenge, certain defeats.
Huge right hand, and Khan down. It's all over right here.
An Olympic silver medalist, 2-time world champion. Yet my critics never stop talking. They say I'll never be a champion again.
The legs did a funny dance.
My chin is shot and my time is up. They say this is the wrong fight. Crawford is too strong, too fast, too skillful.
It's the best in the world.
They say pound for pound he's a king. They say it's over for Amir Khan. I say stop talking about me.
Terrific shot from Khan. It's celebration time.
They say I will just be a memory.
A dazzling attack.
I say you will never forget my name. Amir Khan.